My name's Marty, and I was brought up in an Irish Catholic family, and my mum actually used to say that we're as Catholic as Paddy's pigs. And by the time I was 21, I was an alcoholic. I was always boarding in local bars and hotels, and had 2 kids outside of marriage, yet I still went to church most Sundays. Around about that time, I started working at a freezing works over here in Hawke's Bay. I was a hard worker, I really was, but I was also an alcoholic. And I had to find ways of financing that. And I was what you call a compo king. I'd find creative ways of faking injuries. I'd play on sickies. I'd have sickies sometimes, and I'd find ways of getting time off work. Sometimes I'd cut myself, and I'd rub mutton fat into the wound to infect the cut. And if it healed up too fast, I'd put it in a locker and smash the stitches open. I needed a lift, so I looked to the right and I saw a guy sitting in a car at the side of the road. And I recognised him. He was a guy I'd gone to school with. His name was Wayne. I walked up to his car, and as I got close to his car, I realised that this guy had changed. He was just different. His hair was different. He used to have long, greasy hair. He had cold grey eyes. His eyes are still grey, but they're not cold anymore. And his face was hard. I remembered it as very hard, but now his features had somehow softened. And it kind of struck me. I said, Wayne, when I got in his car, Wayne, what's happened to you? He said, Jesus. I said, oh no, you're not one of them born-again Christians, are you? Because I get enough of that at work. He said, all I know is, Marty, you and I both knew about God because we both went to a Catholic school. He said, but now I know him personally. And he started to tell me how he became a Christian. And I prayed within myself. I prayed, not out loud, within myself. I said, Jesus, I know you set me up. Do for me what you've done for Wayne. Change me, save me, and forgive me of my sin. And all I know is I didn't feel hugely different at first, but when I got out of that car, I remember looking up in the sky, and the sky was the bluest blue I'd ever seen in my whole life. It was like somebody had taken something off my eyes, and I was seeing it for how it was, really was for the first time. God was just showing me in a very, very simple way that everything was new now. As I started to walk down the road, I started to rejoice because I realized I didn't have to be a drunk anymore. I didn't have to be an addict anymore. I didn't have to cut myself anymore. I didn't have to fight anymore. There's a whole lot of things I didn't have to do anymore. And I was really, really excited. That was a lot of years ago. And all I know is I'm not an alcoholic anymore. I'm not an addict anymore, of any kind anymore. I've got this peace in my heart that won't go away. It's not dependent on what's happening or what's not happening in my life. It's just there all the time, even if there's sadness around me. It's just like Wayne said. You know, I've known God, about God all my life, but now I know Him personally. And it's not until you know Him personally that you can really change and begin to change.